Welcome to Egypt, the land of the pharaohs, the pyramids, and the mighty Nile. A civilization that began over 5,000 years ago, Egypt is often called the cradle of civilization, and for good reason. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the awe-inspiring history of ancient Egypt, from its mysterious origins and the rise of powerful dynasties, to architectural marvels, religion, and its enduring legacy in the modern world. So sit back, relax, and join us as we journey through time to a land that gave birth to one of the greatest civilizations in human history. Chapter 1. The birth of a civilization. The story of Egypt begins with the Nile, the lifeblood of the land. Stretching over 4,000 miles, it is the longest river in the world, and it provided the ancient Egyptians with fertile soil, water for agriculture, and a means of transportation. But Egypt's early history wasn't always grand. Around 5000 BCE, early settlers along the Nile formed small communities, practicing farming, fishing, and simple trade. Over time, these communities began to organize themselves into distinct regions: Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. These early proto-kingdoms laid the groundwork for what would eventually become a united nation. Scene: a map showing Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE. A legendary figure named Narmer, also known as Menes, is believed to have unified Upper and Lower Egypt, becoming the first pharaoh of a united Egypt. This event marks the beginning of the first dynasty and the start of ancient Egypt's recorded history. Chapter 2. The Old Kingdom. Age of the Pyramids. The Old Kingdom, also known as the Age of the Pyramids, spanned from around 2686 to 2181 BCE. It was during this period that Egypt witnessed unprecedented architectural and cultural development. The most iconic achievement of this era? The Pyramids of Giza. Commissioned by Pharaoh Khufu around 2600 BCE, the Great Pyramid is the last of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing. It took an estimated 20 years and tens of thousands of workers to complete. These pyramids weren't just royal tombs, they were gateways to the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed in life after death, and the pharaohs were thought to become gods in the next world. Hence, the grandeur of their tombs. Hieroglyphics, religious rituals, and the divine status of the pharaoh all took root during this time, forming the foundation of Egyptian culture for centuries to come. Chapter 3. The Middle Kingdom, Rebirth and Stability. After a period of chaos and political instability, Egypt entered the Middle Kingdom around 2055 BCE. It was a time of rebirth with strong leadership, economic expansion, and flourishing art. Pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom focused on infrastructure, building canals, fortresses, and temples. They also expanded Egypt's borders and encouraged trade with neighboring lands. But perhaps the most significant change during this era was the evolution of the role of the pharaoh, from an inaccessible god-king to a more human ruler who was responsible for the welfare of his people. This shift in ideology led to more widespread literacy, administrative reforms, and increased cultural exchange. Chapter 4. The New Kingdom. Egypt's Golden Age. The New Kingdom, from around 1550 to 1070 BCE, marks the peak of ancient Egypt's power and glory. This was the era of legendary pharaohs like Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses the Great. Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs, ruled with wisdom and expanded Egypt's trade networks. Her temple at Deir el-Bahri still stands as a testament to her reign. Akhenaten, her successor, attempted a dramatic religious revolution by promoting the worship of a single god, Aten, the sun disk. This radical monotheism was short-lived, however, and reversed by his son, the boy king Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun himself was a relatively minor king, but his tomb, discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, is one of the most intact and iconic archaeological finds in history. Scene: the Battle of Kadesh and Ramses II's temple. Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, ruled for over 60 years and led military campaigns that expanded Egypt's empire. His monumental temples, such as Abu Simbel, showcase the grandeur of the time. Chapter 5. Religion and the Afterlife. Religion was at the heart of ancient Egyptian life. The Egyptians worshipped a pantheon of gods, each representing aspects of nature, society, and the cosmos. Ra, the sun god; Osiris, god of the afterlife; Isis, goddess of magic; Anubis, god of mummification. These deities were ever present in daily life, ceremonies, and even politics. They believed the soul underwent a journey after death, judged in the hall of Ma'at. If the heart was lighter than the feather of truth, the soul could enter the afterlife. Otherwise, it was devoured by the fearsome goddess Ammit. To ensure a favorable afterlife, the dead were mummified, their organs preserved, and grave goods buried with them, from gold and food to pets and spells from the Book of the Dead. Chapter 6. Achievements in science, art, and writing. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in many fields: architecture, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and literature. They developed a sophisticated writing system, hieroglyphics, that combined logographic and alphabetic elements. These inscriptions covered temple walls, papyrus scrolls, and tombs. They were also skilled engineers and mathematicians. The precision of pyramid construction and the alignment of temples with astronomical events showcased their deep understanding of science. In medicine, they practiced surgery, used herbal remedies, and wrote medical texts that would later influence Greek and Roman medicine. Their art, rich in symbolism and color, emphasized balance, order, and the eternal. Chapter 7. Decline and foreign rule. No civilization lasts forever. By the end of the New Kingdom, internal strife, weak leadership, and foreign invasions began to take their toll. Libyans, Nubians, Assyrians, and Persians all took turns ruling Egypt. In 332 BCE, Egypt was conquered by Alexander the Great. After his death, his general Ptolemy established the Ptolemaic dynasty, which ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. The last ruler of this dynasty was Cleopatra VII, a brilliant, charismatic queen who famously aligned with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony in a bid to retain Egypt's independence. Her defeat by Octavian, later Augustus Caesar, in 30 BCE marked the end of ancient Egypt as an independent power. It became a Roman province, and the pharaohs were no more. Chapter 8. Legacy of ancient Egypt. Though the empire fell, Egypt's legacy endures. From modern architecture inspired by pyramids and obelisks, to the countless museums that house Egyptian artifacts, to Hollywood films and books, ancient Egypt continues to captivate the world. Its influence can be seen in mathematics, calendars, medicine, religious thought, and even the English language, with words like papyrus and alchemy tracing their roots back to Egypt. And perhaps most of all, Egypt's monuments, like the Sphinx and the pyramids, stand as eternal symbols of human ingenuity, ambition, and belief. Egypt, the cradle of civilization, gave birth to a world of ideas, art, science, governance, religion, that shaped not only the ancient world but also the foundations of our modern one. It reminds us of the power of human imagination and the legacy we can leave behind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical deep dives. And remember, history isn't just about the past. It's the story of who we are.